big welcome to the Pisces reading. Like I said, I'm going to do the readings different after the Aquarian full moon. And I started in Germany to do the readings as well. And that's when I actually followed this instinct, this intuition, right? To do the readings when the moon is in the sign, because I cannot, as one-sidedness, read about someone else that I don't embody. So the one thing I can do to add depth to the reading is actually feeling the moon, right, which is right now in Pisces. He's, since this morning, yesterday he still was in Aquarius, and now he's in Pisces. So it gives me a feeling, and I've been doing yoga for like over 20 years, and I give teacher trainings, and I love this intuition that I got, this sensitivity that I got through that, right? And I noticed that there's a big difference. Every day is different. I notice it in my practice. And so that's why I actually, when I came here to Germany, I realized I want to do the same for the English reading. So I'm not doing for the full moon and the new moon, the long readings. I will do a short one, but for all of them, just like 3 cards, right? Read through them, giving you for the meditation, the cues, and I will do all of them at the same time. Good. So let's start with the moon card. I'm going to have a deeper look at the moon card, and the moon card is actually the 4th stage of evolution, right? It starts, I'm just gonna go back with the devil, the 1st stage, then comes the tower, the 2nd stage, then comes the star, it's the 3rd stage, then comes the moon, which is the 4th stage, the sun, the 5th stage, the angel, or the calling of the angel, right? The judgment card, the 6th stage, and then the world, the 7th stage. So the moon, as that 4th stage, is connected to the hermit. And the phase that we see here inside of the moon, each time when we see a face from the side, it means that we see only the left side, which is that creative, spiritual side. And also when we see the left side, it looks back into the past, right? If we see the right side, it's that masculine, conscious side that wants to go into the future. And if we see the face from the left side, it's that feminine, creative, inquisitive, also wants to understand the deeper consciousness that we come out, right? This lobster that's coming out of the water is basically letting us know that we, or us, the humans, I just have a bee coming in here. So, hi. So I might have to just stop the video and help the bee to get out again, because I know she's just gonna go wild around here, and I don't want that. So just give me 1 second. I'll be back in a minute. Well, that was easy. She cooperated. I took a scarf and I led her with the scarf out the window. So maybe it's a sign. Maybe the bee just wanted to let me know, hey, here I am. Maybe it has something to do with the reading. I will look at it. Maybe I will get an information, and I definitely will see that. So this awareness that's looking down, right, at this three animals, and there's a whole story happening, right? Already just the card itself is like it will take 10 minutes just to explain. So this lobster's coming out of the ocean or maybe out of a lake, and it's giving us the understanding that we humans, coming out of the collective unconsciousness. And he is here with this path up, right? And the path goes up the mountain. And the path itself is the awareness of going out and finding or achieving this enlightenment, right? We all going eventually towards the light. Even those people that we think, oh my God, they're just so unconscious, they don't have any awareness. They too have their moments of awareness and going towards this light. The moon itself is also the symbol that wakes over us when we sleep, is there to look over the sleep phases, because the sleep phase is very important. When you're sick, you lie down and sleep to heal, right? And in the sleep, or right before the sleep, we are able to actually consciously put into the subconscious, right? Consciously, we put into the subconscious a new thought, a new idea, a new message, so that we can heal towards that. And that the moon wakes over that. The moon looks down to us and looks down at that evolutionary stage that we, for 8 hours, we are unconscious. For 8 hours, we lie there and we sleep. And someone could come and, now we can sleep quite well because we're in houses. But back then, it was like crazy. We had guardians, we had people waking over us because someone could just come, right? And so this card shows us an evolution. Here we see two animals as well, and one is the wolf and one is the dog, right? And it's the evolution, or the evolution from wolf to dog, and is the symbol of evolution, right? We tamed the wolf, right? We took the most sensitive of the animals, the most tamed one of the breedings, and bred them with another one that was more tamed. And that's over hundreds and hundreds of years. Now we have the dog, who's absolutely loyal, stays with us, right? And the wolf is wild. The wolf is that wild, unconscious animal. And so it's a very beautiful symbolism here happening here. Then we have these two towers, which we also have actually in the death card, right? I'm just gonna see if I find the death card really quickly. Yeah, and here it is. And here we have, in the death card, we also have the two towers where the sun is rising. And it means the tower is, we go beyond the boundaries of the known world, right? The world that we know, we go beyond these boundaries. We go and past. That is the path that leads us to enlightenment. And we go deep within, and we don't know what we're going to see there. We don't know what we're going to find there. And that path is not straight. That path is moving right and left, sometimes goes back down to go back up. And so we can constantly see that the evolution doesn't mean we're always up. Sometimes we have to go down, right? And so every spiritual human being is aware that sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down. And we cannot just always look from up to the ones who are down. Sometimes we're down, and then we're glad that those who are up don't condemn us or don't look down at us, right? So really become aware again of the dualities that is happening in this card. The word, the word of the kof, the Hebrew word of this card is kof. It's very hard to actually, I'm just kind of have it written here, kof, right? And the kof is the back of the head, is the cerebellum, is the spine, right? Is where it ends and goes into the consciousness, right? And here we have the link between the human and the divine, this path where kof is behind, and we go up, just within our head, we go up to the back of our head, right? So this card is a gateway. It's the last card in winter. It's Pisces, right? And Pisces is the one moment where we fed up with winter, right? We just so looking forward that now the sun is coming back, which is the next card, right? The next card is the sun. And when the sun comes, we absolutely are happy, right? I'm trying to find the sun card. Here. I was like, it was here, right? So the sun is the next one, right? And again, it's connecting us to Aries, to the spring, right? To actually the mastering, to the emperor. And this is the path, right? We are with the Pisces. We are at the end. We are here, finding the end of a cycle. And it can actually be the dark night of the soul. It can be that moment where we feel this deep prejudice, this deep superstition, the deep understanding of what tradition means, right? It repeats itself. It's the end. And we are at the end of Pisces, the age of Aquarius, which is then coming to us because it's the recession. It's not the procession, it's the recession of that wobble of the earth. The earth spins 24,000 years, 25,000 years, in itself a wobble, right? Not that the earth is turning back, or like when we look at the sun, we turn actually back, and that's why the sun is setting. It's not the sun is moving, the earth is moving back. So now we're moving back to an awareness, to a higher consciousness, to this 8th star. The 9, the number 9, it goes back. We completed this path and we are up in the mountain, and now we can go further up into the sky, into this mission, into this awareness, into this consciousness, into a freedom. That's why we're going out and fight for the freedom right now, because we are moving from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. A lot of happening here, right? So these are just the stars. These are just the constellations, and people sometimes are like, oh, astrology and all this kind of stuff. It's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, look, it's a guide. It's what's above, it's below, right? it's Leo time. The sun is in Leo. It's the stars above me, and below me the world within this fiery energy that has been the planets had been, there was no life, there was dry, barren, heat, fire, right? And that's what the sun is. The sun is this fire. There's no life really on the sun. There might be a little bacteria that can survive the fire, because that's how the life started here 3.3 billion years ago. A little bacteria, when the earth was cooling, in that fire, because all the meteorites were colliding to each other, right? And so here is the infinite awareness of what is up there comes back down to us, right? So when we look again at these two cards, where we moving, like this, right? Where we're moving towards, we're moving actually more like this, because it's here, she's looking at the star. She's facing the star. If it would be like this, then the movement would go like this, and she wouldn't even know that she moves this way. You see what I mean? She's facing this future, but it's going backwards. It's very fascinating. I just love it. So the sun in the Leo now, right? We have this infinite breath, the infinite breath of letting go, right? And allowing with that breath to understand we are constantly taking down the star card. The star, which is that awareness. This is the star card, right? This is the position of the star, and this is the breath, the lion's breath, right? So the moon is the fish pose. And also the fish pose goes into the past, looks into the past. It's the back of the head. It's the name of Koph. The back of the head is touching the floor. It's that cerebellum that's touching the deep subconscious awareness, and the moon glowing behind, rising up, right? And I think I'm gonna do an upward facing dog and a downward facing dog here. I'm making the fish pose a little smaller, so I'm still creating my cards, right? And I just love it. I'm really enjoying it. So this is the moon card, the fish pose, right? Great. Then you are, if you are born between the 8th of February to the 11th of March, you are the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups, as you can see, he's just so sweet and so beautiful. He's searching for that emotional love. He's going for it. Now, all the Knights are energy fire. They search, they're looking, they want to find something unstoppable, right? And he's elegantly moving forward and having his cup and his wings of imagination on the top of his head and on his feet, and he's going forward, and he will search forever, because he is the river. He hasn't arrived yet in the ocean like Scorpio is in the ocean. He is the king of cups, right? He has arrived. And the Queen of Cups, which is Cancer, she's on the shore of the deep ocean. So there is a difference to it. And the river, right? The river starts somewhere. There's this idea, this thought that comes, and then it starts becoming this small little driplet, and it gets more and more and more and more, and eventually it's this big river that leads into the ocean, and he has arrived. He can drink anymore. In the ocean, you cannot drink that water. Then you are in the big consciousness, right? One drop makes an ocean, and many drops, and one ocean out of many drops, right? So it's like beautiful message here, right? You are searching for that, right? For that quest all the time, because you want to know, you want to be, you have this imagination, you going into the subconscious, and you looking for this lover, you're looking for something that will help you to go deeper, right? And that's your quest. Good. So your reading, very interesting. I already put the cards down, is a karmic. Now this is karma. And karma means that you have fate. This is your fate, right? What's happening now? This is your destiny. This is your karmic energy. And you have understood something. You have come to a completion here. Because 10 is a new one. And a new one is this awareness that now you have to begin again, right? You have understood the 9 completion. Before you is the Hermit. And the Hermit, as we said, is connected to Pisces, right? They are opposite each other. So it's as well, these numbers have the opposite sign that's influencing you, right? Or when we have a full moon and a new moon in your sign, when it's Pisces, we have a full moon in Virgo, in the Hermit, right? So this is, there is a deep understanding happening for you, that you now have to become aware of where you belonging to. The 5 of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, and the 9 of Pentacles. And it's this search for love, right? It's this deep search that you are on. Here, the Ace of Cups, here you are, not knowing who you are. You're not knowing where you belong to. And you have difficulty with your finances. And you have maybe difficulty, right? So the key is here. You just don't looking at it. The key is here to open that door and say, I have a path, I have something I can do. For some reason, it's difficult for you to do that. But because you are searching, and because of that deeper search, because you are the Knight, you're not giving up. This card, yes, it's here and it has challenged you to go further, right? You worried, but your worry turned into a deeper awareness of what the love is about and made you independent again. Beautiful, right? She's dressed in white and she's collecting the money, collecting the fruits that she has worked hard on. And this one spark, emotional spark, came to you and helped you with this awareness, with this consciousness, right? Then came these 3. This is the next row. This is the present moment. That was the past, or the close past, right? The immediate past. I don't see it as like past, right? It's happening now, all of it. Now this is your central card, which is 2 of Swords and the 3 of Pentacles and the 2 of Wands. As you can see, there is a community and the willingness to go out and start fresh again. And you have to make a choice. Are you going to stay with your community, which you're looking at, right? But in the back of your mind, you also want to go out and start something new, start something fresh, right? So where are you going to go, right? So now very clearly you have this community that supports you. You have worked in that community, and it's a very difficult decision for you to now go out and I'm just looking, right? Because that financial freedom that you got, created this community. And for some reason, you need to move further. You need to move on, always, right? Maybe you started something beautiful in this community, and now that making this decision is a little difficult for you. But look at her, even though she's like sitting here and she has planned already with that one wand in the corner, right? She has one wand here with these action, with this great community that you were part of, right? But you need to move on. We constantly move, right? Constantly changing, because it's your karma. It's the next beginning. It's the next new number one. It's not a one like the Fool. It's a one where you're like, okay, I'm actually have behind me 9 stages, and I'm in the stage 1 again on a higher level. And you are going to move on. This decision that is pulling you, allow to understand that things change. And then the next card, the next 3 cards were these. And as you can see, it's difficult for you to, right, to move, because she sees, oh my God, I have to start fresh and I have to plan, and I, you know, it's not sure, and you know, it's sometimes it's also not just easy to leave something, because maybe you had great people here, right? And it's giving you a headache, and it's making you like, what am I gonna do, right? But then look at what's happening. You're finding an extreme emotional fulfillment with the 9 of Cups. And you have the Knight of Swords, right? The Knight of Swords is, again, a fire sign, is again a messenger of searching for the truth. Searches is intellectually inquisitive. Maybe there is a Sagittarius. This is Sagittarius, right? Look in the description box below. There's the dates of Sagittarius, if your birthday falls right in there, right? Because it's also 1/3 Scorpio and 2/3 of Sagittarius. So just that you know, right? It has this movement forward, and it's very powerful, right? There is a powerful person in your life, and this emotional fulfillment moves you forward. And usually I only do 9 cards, but for the last card, for this card, another 3 came out, and I have to take it because the message is very clear. Look at this, where you're heading. You're heading to the Ace of Fire, and then the World, and here the 4 of Wands. I mean, it's like, wow, it's worth it to plan and go out, even though you think you get this headache, and you have before that, these are the cards, right? So here you are getting again this creative spark, which, you know, these together create a new awareness in this world. And you are the old structures that are falling apart now. The Age of Pisces, this deep subconscious longing for a new path, for a new world, right? This deep opening. Look at how open she is in this position. She puts her head down, her cerebellum, all the way. This new spark creates a new world, because this is the female and this is the male. This is the creative spark and this is the emotional spark. Creates this new world, and then you can celebrate. Look at that. The 4 of Wands, usually always the marriage card. Maybe there is a marriage. Maybe there's a marriage with yourself. First of all, get married with yourself. Beautiful. But this is like amazing, right? It's really, really beautiful. I mean, you really are going to an amazing path. I will take just one card, 4 from the Good Tarot, right? I will take one card for the 2 of Swords, because this is your central card. This is your middle card. Even though I know that it's because of this community, right? But why do you don't want to leave this community, right? What's holding you in that community, or what's making it difficult for you to see that maybe you have to move forward? Just one card. Let's see what's coming out, yeah? When they jump, when they fall, they fall. Oh, you got 4. Okay. So first, from the deck, you have the 3 of Air, right? And that's always a love triangle. And a love triangle, just have a look, right? There's one bird on the branch, and there's one bird at her wings, and she's the bird, right? She's the other bird. So the 3 of Air is a world pain, but also can be, of course, a triangle between 3 people, right? 2 men and a woman, or 3 men, or 2 women and 1 man, or 3 women. It doesn't matter, right? Gender doesn't apply to these cards. So it shows me that it's your karma to move on from this level of not knowing where you belong to, right? This like new love is coming to you, and this new love is making you independent. This new inner deeper love is making you conscious and making you really aware. Okay, so here are the 4 cards that came out. The Empress, the 4 of Water, the 8 of Earth, and the 10 of Fire. Okay, so in this community, because you're coming of the 9 of Pentacles, right, into the community, because you have created for yourself the money, and this community was very important to you because you were the Empress there. You were very powerful in there, and you made a lot of decisions. And now you have the 4 of Water, and you became bored there. You became a little like you couldn't grow any further. And you worked hard in there, and sometimes so hard that it was overburdening you. So you need to move on. And an Empress always stays an Empress. She never just lets go of being an Empress. She's the queen of queens. But here you worked a lot, and you were emotionally not fulfilled. That's why you becoming now the 9, you're getting the 9, you need to move on. And the moving on, the planning to move on, right, is going to bring this. And you worked a lot in this community. And you need to say, all right, I need to move on, and I need to create something else. The community will still be there, but you need to go to a new adventure. You have done what what you can do, right? So now you need to move on. And you know, even though the planning creates a little bit of a headache for you, but what's coming is an emotional fulfillment again when you overcome this over worrying, right? Like it's, yeah, it's giving you a hard time, right? But don't hesitate, because look where you running towards. Look where you're moving towards. You are moving clearly. Your quest, there is another knight that is going with you on this quest, going with you forward, right? Together, two knights moving forward, going there. Maybe this is a partner, right? Maybe this is a friend who's here helping you to go on this quest. Doesn't matter, male, female, can be both, interchangeable. Look again at the dates, what the birthday is, and also for this, right? It's all written below in the description box. But this is your movement forward to another level of community, because the 3 to the 4, even though it's pentacle, right? This is maybe a little heavy. You want more, a lighter, more of a happier community. You want to create a whole new awareness that this world is enjoying. Maybe the community you were in was, like I said, right? Maybe you really worked hard there. I mean, you were a leader there. And also, of course, the Empress, she doesn't stop to go out, to go into the world. Or maybe you need to move on, because there was in that community somehow 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Swords, right? Somehow there was something not so, you know, also a certain love that wasn't, yeah, was bothering you. Yeah? There was maybe a relationship situation. So you have 2 5s, right? You have 2 5s. You have the 5 of Pentacles and the 5 of Swords. You have 2 ones with the wheel, right? So when you look at that, this is your karma to find a new spark, this sexual creation, this sexual union coming together, right? Creating the new world. And you have You have 2 and 2. Oh no, this is 3. Sorry, I thought. Right, remember this. There's a reason, right? You have a difficulty because you're a little bit bound. Your feet are grounded here. This is the earth. This is the material realm, right? So you want... And the mind is having a hard time to go to this new, but you're going to plan to do this. This is your central card, right? This is change. 2 is always change. All of them. It doesn't matter. Pentacles, Swords, Wands. The change is happening, and you deep down know it. You deep down know that you need to move on. And yes, it's going to be tough. It's going to bring headaches, but you will be okay. Right? You will be okay, because you know what's coming. You know what's coming, right? And of course, you really know what's coming. You really know what's coming. Trust. Trust, 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 right? Because, again, you're the Empress. And whatever you've done there, yeah, you will not do this anymore. These cards, yes, this is, in a way, yeah, she's burning all these papers. Maybe go and do a fire ceremony. Burn all these things that you've done too much. You empowered because you worked hard. Only this cello is here because it takes a long years to master a cello. right? And look at how she has here all the 4 pearls, and she's deep down submerged in her subconscious, knowing that she had to learn. And have a look at this, right? Maybe there is really a decision to be made, because there's a love triangle. Beautiful message, my dear Pisces. Remember to take in this position and do the breath, the lion's breath, right? Deep inhale. Releasing everything, whatever you can release, right? And then go into the fish pose. Take the fish pose, take it in, right? Be that person that starts going on that quest, right? Even the dark night of the soul, right? You going for that quest, you moving forward, because you are an empress. You are powerful, right? You have created the 2 9s. You're independent and you're happy. These are 2 single people. And of course, one more time, right? There you create a whole new world. You create, maybe there's a new sexual energy coming, where you're really going to be enjoying yourself, like really enjoying yourself. And I had a dream the other night, and the dream was so real for me. And again, remember, the Pisces is where you in the dream world get messages from your soul. And I had this dream like just last night, and it was so powerful. And I could feel already the influence of the Pisces moon. And the message that I got in this dream, I knew this message was so beautiful and so powerful. I felt so real, right? And I felt like, wow, something is really coming. And I'm very connected, because I'm a Virgo, to this reading, because it's my counterpart. And I feel somehow this message is also a little bit for me, because my mother was a Pisces and she died 2 years ago. And I really love this message also for me, right? So great. Thank you for listening. I wish you a beautiful moment with this reading. Take your time, meditate on it, and see you in the next reading, when again the moon is in Pisces. So to integrate now the B after the reading, because I noticed I forgot to put that in, is that the work, this hard work, right? The bees work very hard. And this working mastery, also being a little emotionally not fulfilled, and the heavy burden that you put on yourself with all this work, right, is moving to a new dimension, right? Here you are going into a new dimension. And the Empress, right, the bees working for the Queen, working for her, could also be that you've been working a lot in this community, right? Even though when you're looking at it, you know, it's very difficult for you to make this decision. Something maybe is so deep ingrained in us that we sometimes cannot get out of it, because it's part, like a normal worker bee would never leave. It's so deep in their, you know, DNA. That's their job. That's their part. Maybe you start realizing something very deep, very profound, because I mean, you are the moon. You are this deep subconscious coming out of the collective human to the divine, right? This is your path. This light is fascinating you, is bringing you out. So maybe you're coming out of a very deep a bondage, maybe even, like, right? I mean, it's very clear now, because I mean, you also have this leading from the deck, finding the story here and moving towards this freedom, running towards, right? I mean, of course, this is coming after, right? You finally find you planning this, you're planning to get out, to move on. And even though it's difficult, but there is emotional success or fulfillment happening no matter what. Look at how beautiful she's jumping. And then you're running towards this creative idea, and the creative idea creates this new world, this new paradigm where you're enjoying yourself, absolutely enjoying yourself, right? So here we can also see that the independence that you are claiming now, coming out of something, coming out of this, right, not knowing where you belong to, right, which is below, right? I mean, below is then the community. And there are beautiful communities, but sometimes certain communities, they might also again have rules and regulations. And something maybe wants to move, right? The bee maybe is a sign of you needing, yes, you want to move, right? You came in here, you were curious, what is this here, right? So it's like, wow, it's a whole nother dimension, right? For a bee to be in a room like this where we have all this materialness, right? And it's interesting because I always wonder, like, the soul of a dog that has been with humans, right? Does that soul change, and the next step, he becomes a human? And then we have snakes that live with humans, and then the snake evolves in the next life. And these are, you know, things that I question sometimes. So just maybe look at that message for the bee as well. In these cards, I take a picture so you can see all the pictures one more time. Thank you for watching. Namaste.